Hello, this is Inside the Press Box with Sunil Sunder Raj for the Everyday Fan Sports. I'm happy to be speaking with Ricardo Rush Jr., new assistant coach of NJIT men's basketball. Coach Rush, thank you so much for, again, taking some time out to speak with me this evening. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to speak with you.
Hey, congratulations, Coach Rush. I just wanted to ask you right off the bat, said about joining, said the NJIT men's basketball program and
Yep.
just what this means to you personally and your family, Coach.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to get started with NJIT. Honestly, this has been kind of like a dream for me, a goal for me since I was, since I was playing, high school basketball. And I kind of knew I wanted to get into coaching one day, and obviously at the Division I level. I went on to be a manager in college at Maryland. So, I mean, everything I've kind of done was to get to this point. So it's a surreal feeling for me. And then it's also, a happy, and jubilant feeling for me and my family, just because, this is just kind of what, I always thought I was, meant to do. So I'm excited to get here. And then obviously NJIT is a great place and great location and obviously a great academic environment. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with you, Coach. New York City in the backdrop,
Exactly.
it doesn't get any better than that. But
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, just now, working under, head coach Brian Kennedy, I believe entering his sixth season, there,
Yep.
for the Highlanders men's basketball program. Just what made it a perfect fit, and just talk about, said so far.
Yeah.
Just talking to Coach Kennedy about the
Yeah.
upcoming 2021-22 season, Coach Rush.
It made it a great fit, I think, because Coach Kennedy, man, he's a good guy, really good guy, good person. He wants the best for the kids in the program. Just like, that's kind of been my philosophy in coaching. Just, having guys be successful on and off the court. And Coach Kennedy, he embodies that. He is, that's what he speaks about a lot. He challenges guys, which you have to get, to get them to get the best out of them. So I mean, I thought that was a big part, his philosophies and what he believed in, and obviously just the unique, facilities and everything that they put into, the athletic, departments put a bunch of money into, a brand new facility, brand new gym, brand new locker room, brand new practice facility. So it's a beautiful place that a lot of people haven't seen, and I just think, obviously that's untapped potential. And I always was a guy who, would look for projects and, we get the best out of them. So I think this is a situation where we can really, kind of make this, turn this thing around and get some, really good players. And, we've had really good players, but, continue to get really good players and to continue to kind of turn the tide.
Yeah, no, excellent points you made, Coach Rush. I mean, the fact that last season, first year in the American
Mhm.
East Conference. I mean,
Mhm.
to build off that, the fact that the team was able to get into the postseason tournament there in the first round,
Yep.
and then with this upcoming season, it looks like I said with the number of guys returning from last
Yep.
year's team, and then you add some more pieces.
Yep.
I believe not only this season, but the future is really set up well for NJIT said
Yeah.
men's basketball.
No, I think so too. I think the future is bright. I think we lost some key pieces
Yeah.
to the grad transfer portal because that's a huge thing right
Yeah.
now. But we also gained some really good pieces. Within some younger guys, some freshmen that'll be coming in, some international kids. We got a mix of kids. We got a JUCO kid. We got some of everything. So I think we have a nice clean slate, and then we have a bunch of guys I think will bond and gel together, and I think everybody has a common goal, and I think we'll get there. As long as we put the work in. I think everybody on board right now is willing to do that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I said I was able to speak with Dylan O'Hearn the other day, and seeing what Dylan did coming in his first season, and
Yep.
just put up tremendous stats there. First 7 games, I think he had reached double figures, and just
Yep.
get his presence on and off the court, and
Yep.
said handling the ball, said at the guard position. You talk about the facilities, coach. I mean, it doesn't get any better than the WEC, the Wellness and Event Center. I
No,
mean,
it
just
really
absolutely
doesn't.
a magnificent facility. And then you talk about
Yeah.
the strength and conditioning, said, rooms as well, weight training. And then you talked about practice courts. I mean, just that having that setup right there is so enticing, again, for kids, to come
Yeah.
to NJIT.
Yeah, no, it's a huge thing. I mean, it's a huge selling point, and then it's something that I know I will focus on in my recruiting now. I mean, because I think once kids see it, they'll be shocked. I mean, I know myself, I'm from the DC area, but I hadn't been to NJIT, but when I came, I saw pictures, before I came, but when I actually got here, I was shocked because I mean, we have big time basketball in the DC area and a lot of big schools, but this facility can kind of go up against anybody.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, it's like, the name maybe doesn't ring a lot of bells or we're kids, but just because it's a newer program in the last 20 something years and Division I is but once they get in there and see what we're trying to do and what the school's invested in for their success on and off the court. I mean, you can't deny that's a really great situation for any young man.
No, agreed. I wanted to ask you also, the fact is that these are student athletes as well,
Yep.
and the academic standards are at a high bar there at NJIT. I mean,
Yep.
for these kids, it's a very demanding, situation, but you've seen so many, kids over the years being able to balance out, both roles effectively. Coach, just wanted to ask you about that, said,
Yeah.
in here, first season, with
Yeah.
NJIT.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, to me, it's always about helping these guys become men. So helping them become men is helping them be successful in life. We all know basketball ends for basketball is going to end at some point for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where maybe they don't want it to end, but if you come to NJIT and get your degree and really focus and take advantage of everything that's offered, the internships, New York City being really close, like you said earlier, with huge internships. Somebody could, you can be successful. You can be really successful. And it doesn't, like you said, once we get these kids to realize they don't have to be dribble basketball to be successful, and that they can be, they can do whatever they want to do in terms of studying, and, they can major in whatever. And, it's doable. It's doable. And then they have the access. So I think the biggest thing, a lot of people don't have is access, and we have that access to New York City, to internships, to corporate America. Corporate America is right down the street. Some of the biggest, Wall Street is one of the biggest, biggest platforms in the world, and it's right, and it's not too far from us. So it's just the opportunity that we have with the access to a huge market, one of the biggest cities in the world.
No, definitely. Solid foundation. You look at the administration, athletic department led by athletic director Lenny Kaplan. Now, be remiss, not mentioning the rest of the staff as well, assistant coaches. And you talk about Jeff Rafferty, Kim Waiters, Joe Kutowski. I mean, it's really, I said, it's a terrific staff, coach. I just wanted to ask you, just working with those guys, this upcoming season.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to work with everybody. I mean, just to go down a name like Danny. Danny's a guy who really works. He's a really, he's a worker. I've known Danny for a few years. We actually went to the same high school, graduated from the same high school. So he's a worker, man. He's all aboard on getting things done. He's a big time team player. Coach Rafferty, Jeff Rafferty, man, he's a funny guy. A lot of energy. Your Boston, Massachusetts guy, man. Really great guy. He works. He's been in the business a long time, so he's the vet in it. He's really been, he's been a lot of places. Been some good stops. Every time I go on the road, I tell him, man, everybody always comes up to me and asks me about him. So he's a guy who, everybody knows, and he's done his, he's paid his dues. And then you got Joe Kutowski, man. He's a really good guy, man. Anything you need in terms of, he just gets things done, man. He just gets things done, whatever it is. He knows how to get it done, and he's a worker. Then obviously, you got, the athletic department staff is really great. They support us. And they help us make things, make things happen. I mean, without them, we couldn't make certain things happen, and they do that. They support us. So, we couldn't ask for a better group to work with, just because they make our lives easier. So.
It's 24/7, 365, this job, coach, year round. There's never a day off. Wanted to ask you, I know that you said recently joined, the staff, what, in terms of, preparing for this upcoming season, how that, is working. I mean, the kids are going to be back in school, said, I think in another month or so, and then it'll really, be time to, get things, off the ground. Just wanted to ask you about that as well.
Yeah, the first thing I did was just, get on Synergy and watch film,
Yeah.
just to familiarize myself with, the style of play and, what certain kids could do. So just, just kind of, you always want to, prepare yourself to, be able to come in and right away and help a kid in terms of like their development. Like, oh, I watched you on film last year a lot, and you couldn't do this. You could do this, but you couldn't do this. So I did that. I did a lot of that. And I just did like, analyze the team. So I watched games and I was just like, okay, what couldn't they do? What could they do? Like, okay, at this point in the game, it looks like every time they play, things start going down here late, or they can't score at this period of the time. So, I just kind of try to do that and familiarize myself with everything. And that was huge, I think, just because, like you said, you just want to come in and be ready to help. And then, like you said, to your point, there's no days off. I mean, that's legit. Every day I just try to make sure I'm, staying in touch with, the next feature, Highlander. I mean, so I'm just, out here trying to, every day, connecting with coaches, connecting with, people in the area, and just, making myself available to people and making them feel comfortable that they can, reach out to me. And, and just even like you said, there's no days off. So every day I'm checking in with future Highlanders. I'm checking in with AAU coaches, high school coaches, other college coaches, just, touching base. And, it's like you said, it's nonstop. It's nonstop. So, we have, we have a few kids here, two or three kids here now. So we just, we're trying to, just trying to be there too for them too. So, the workouts and, obviously support them in whatever they need.
That's terrific. Yeah. And I wanted to a couple more, Coach. I believe 2 years at Salt Lake Community College. Your previous stop. You enjoyed immense success there. Both with the recruiting and with running the offense. Top 10, I think, in the scoring, and setting 14 student athletes Division I programs. Just outstanding. Said Coach Rush. Can you just talk about your time there and just
I mean, my time there was great, honestly. I would like to say, everybody there was great. Like a similar athletic department. Their AD Kevin Dustin, man, he really helps us. He really helps us be successful. There's nothing we can't have to be, that we need. So anything we need, he's going to get it to us. Coach Kyle Taylor does a great job of letting his assistant coaches really go out and get things done, and kind of let you work to your own strengths. So he lets you work to your own strengths, and and then just gives you opportunity to improve. And I think that was a huge part for me. Just it allowed me to trial and error different things, and it allowed me to think beyond different things I thought I could do. And it really helped me, in terms of, like you said, with the offense. I was able to, with the help of one of the other assistants, and Taylor, just, implement, the whole style of offense, because every year in JUCO, you pretty much change teams. So from year one to year two, we had a whole new, completely different offense with, completely different players. So, JUCO is just, it's a great lane in terms of for coaches, I think, just because you have to adjust so much. And it's almost like it's almost like travel ball. It's a new team, you know what I mean? So you can't plan too far ahead, because you never know how these guys are going to come into your program and do. So once they get there, you have a short window to fix things and get things going, and make sure everything is to your liking. Yeah. So Salt Lake was a great place, and we were able to do a lot. Getting guys, 14 guys D1 scholarships was great. Because that was a big reason why a lot of those kids came to see us, because they came from Division I's and didn't have success they wanted, or they were in high school and they knew they were D1 players. And I think, just the program and things, the way we ran it, prepared them to get to that level.
Yeah, back-to-back tournament appearances. That was huge. I'm sure, said for the program,
Huge.
Bringing in, said that new talent, as well. They see, the success that the program has, that consistency. You mentioned before, Coach Rush, about AAU. Said I wanted to ask you about the DC Blue Devils. I think you coached over 40 Division I, said players. The Under Armour circuit. Can you just talk about that? That must have
So one of my mentors, trainee, guy who trained me when I played basketball, Keith Williams, is a really influential guy in the DC area. He was the director of the DC Blue Devils. He had just got it going in terms of the circuit. So he allowed, he gave me a great opportunity to take over the 17U team that had the future #1 pick with Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
So that was big for me being first time. I think I was about 24 years old.
Okay.
My first time in terms of like getting real game coaching experience. So that was huge for me, being on that stage and, coaching in front of, everybody in America.
Yeah.
And also, just helping a kid with so much potential. Not so to speak, get there all by myself, but be a part of his process.
Yeah.
And then, the area pumps out so much talent. We were just so lucky in terms of like families and kids believing in our vision, that we had success, and we put together a great group of, coaches, all young and old, who had experience, and, just guys who were really good guys and wanted to help kids. And we, over a 4 to 5 year period, we pumped out, a good number of D1 guys, and obviously we had guys go D2 too, because at the end of the day, we just wanted the guys to get free schooling, so we didn't care, Division I, Division II, it's all a great opportunity. So it was great for me, just to get a lot of coaching experience firsthand, with really good players in all ages, because I did 2 or 3 years of 17s. I did a year of 15. So, it was different, and you had to adjust, just because, when guys are 15 years old, to me, they're really impressionable. Sometimes they haven't been coached yet. And sometimes they don't know themselves, and, but when they get to 17 years old, those guys are grown men, and sometimes they don't want to hear what you have to say, and, and they know everything. So, it's night and day, but it was all in all, it was a great experience. Was able to coach against a lot of really good players, was able to coach a lot of good players, and was able to, network with, good, a lot of good coaches, a lot of good AAU coaches, who like myself had the same dreams, and I think they still do. And, I think more coaches should look at those guys and give them an opportunity to get in college, because a lot of them, they do so much. And at the end of the day, people don't realize how much pressure you get from everybody, it's just to win games and all that stuff. And, so, yeah.
So that's great. I know you coached on the high school, basketball level, coaches, but what's so impressive when I looked at your background is that the work you did in camps. So that's really cool. Like the coaching basketball camp, and then the tournament and site director for Big Shots. But it was so great because I think the nuts and bolts teaching those, as you, I think, allude to the fundamentals of basketball. And I think that's really, as you said, starting out young, said middle, high school, kids. Can you just talk about that again, just, incredible work you were able to do?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's a big part of the game is teaching. So, a lot of people try to skip steps and, just go to stuff they see in the NBA and stuff like that. It's like, but you gotta teach guys, you gotta teach kids, and, be patient. And I think that's something I learned from my dad, who was a coach. Rest his soul. He passed away a few years ago, but he got me into the, in basketball, and, he was a coach, and I always watched him and saw how he taught. And he taught, no matter how old, no matter if he had old kids or younger kids. It was like, you still have to teach, because you never know, every kid is different. Like you may be advanced, but the next kid that's playing with you or playing next to you may not be. So, you take it for what it's worth, and you teach every kid, but you teach them from, where they need to be taught, as opposed to, like, you can't have a generic, oh, this is the line, because it's, it can't be like that. It's, it's not equal across the board. It's individually. So I think, those camp opportunities really helped me, because I was young, and, I wanted to get in the business, and it really helped me, okay, so it was a lot of those camps were Joe Wooten camps, Morgan Wooten camps. So Morgan Wooten's a, Hall of Famer coach, and, great family. And Joe, his son, who's a high school coach in the DC area, used to always say, be the coach you want to be the coach you want to play for. And then with that always like hit me, because, when you're a kid, everybody plays sports, and you're like, kids like come home, I don't like my coach, or, my coach yelled at me. And so it's like, when he said that to me, I was like, wow, I never thought about that. But in hindsight, it's like, I probably am the coach I wanted to play for, you know what I mean? And it really hit home, and it was like, wow, okay. So, I think, if you're patient and you're really passionate and you really want to help the kids, I mean, the teaching part it goes by. It's easy. It's easy. You'll have fun. And that's what always hit home for me. It's like, it never felt like a chore to me, because, I was patient. And as long as those kids had energy and they wanted to get better, I mean, we could be doing layups for 3 hours, but if you want to get better and you're trying, that's all I needed. So I think, that those camps really helped me in terms of, like, realizing that, okay, every kid isn't going to, you're not going to work out every kid from the start and he'd be really, really good. Or every kid isn't going to be really, really bad. You know what I mean? It's like, it's levels, and you just figure it out. And, once you do, you just help them as much as you can, and you just, teach them.
Hey, early on, you mentioned one of the biggest roles that you had was with Orlando Magic, and you talked about described the technology. I mean, especially with the NBA draft. I mean, Sports View, said draft tracking system. Just talk about that. How, I mean, those 2 years, with the Magic.
Yep. No, 2 years were really good. I mean, met some great people. It was a great opportunity to be involved with a great organization. Guys that just came over. A lot of those guys just came from the Spurs, so it was great to learn from them and, obviously connect with them. The job, like you said, the job was great, man. It really helped me in terms of, like, realizing that, everything for these athletes, everything matters. And you tracking their, data tracking and sports analytics is huge. And it showed me how much that part of the game has came, it's really grown. It's grown tremendously. And at almost all levels, it's become like a, almost like a key point in what every organization wants to do. So I think that was really good. Me being young and, not really knowing what I wanted to do in basketball yet. I just know I wanted to do something in basketball. I didn't know if I wanted to coach yet. I didn't know if I wanted to do, video stuff. I didn't know if I wanted to, be the front office stuff yet. I just knew I wanted to get in basketball, and that was a great introduction to a high level of basketball and some, high level, coworkers. And like you said, I really want to thank, George Rodman, who really gave me an opportunity, and, still continues to help me to this day. He's currently with the Hornets now, but he was a really big influence, and, really great guy.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Technology now, as you said, it's revolutionary. I mean, just the way as you said, it's grown and simplifies the process as far as with the players. You said you really can break it, down to a T, and then use that, moving forward. And you mentioned attending and graduating from the University of Maryland. Said you were the men's basketball manager. Sit there for 4 years. Working, for head coach, Gary Williams, and then of course Mark Turgeon. I mean, talk about that. You were involved, had a number of roles. Said with practices, with games.
Always.
Yeah, I mean, filming. Said. I mean, that must have been. I mean, really, to get that hands-on experience. I mean, that is so beneficial, especially at that,
definitely.
Said life, Coach Rush.
Yep. No, it was a great experience. Honestly, it was a completely different experience than I expected. Initially, just because you're a jack of all trades, you do everything. Literally everything.
Multitasking.
Nothing's like literally nothing's above or below you. You do everything, which is fine with me. I'm a blue collar guy. And I think you're there. So you're honestly like a fly on the wall, and you see and hear everything, and you're in film sessions, you're in the locker room, you're in the coach's office. You're in the coach's office maybe when he's calling recruits. You're in official visits. You're in unofficial visits. You're in workouts, skill development workouts. You're in the weight room with the strength coaches and the players. So literally, it's the access again. Like I'll go back to saying this: the access you have in that role. As long as you fill your role, it's second to none. Just because, like for me at 19 years old to be around a Hall of Fame coach, I mean, not too many people can say that, and I saw two really good coaches, Gary Williams and Mark Turgeon, succeed with two different styles. And to me, that's like, I think you have to do it. Wait, you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. But I mean, it showed me firsthand, like, man, whatever you do and whatever works for you, that's what you should stick with. You can't conform and say like, man, I need to do this because people think this. No, those two guys were like night and day, but those guys, they got things done, separately. I mean, Gary, my first year, we were co-champs of the ACC regular season. So, I mean, it was a great year. I mean, you come on and you win, you win. And then the next year, we lost a lot of people. We graduated Gravis Vasquez. And we ended up having to have, I think, no, we didn't. We were decent the next year. Sorry. We were decent the next year. And we had like a lot of young guys come in. Like young guys came in and they turned out to be pretty good. One Terrell Stoglin turned out to be a really good player. But he left Maryland early. So but then when Coach Turgeon came in, we were going through a phase where people were leaving. And I think we ended up having to add like 4 or 5 walk-ons, and they, a lot of them played. So we just didn't have the bodies to be competitive right away. But I mean, as you've seen, like since I left the 8 to 10 years, he's done a great job.
Yeah.
And he continues to do a good job. He's a good guy, a really good guy, and family guy, I would say. So I think just having that experience with those two guys and being part of that brotherhood was big for me. Just because like some of those guys I talk to this day, almost every day, just because, we were in the gym at night, late together. Or we were just, we did so much together. So like, I think, it's a great stepping stone for anybody who wants to get in coaching, just because, you're around, it helps you, it gives you visibility. Like you'll meet people, you'll meet coaches. And if you do a good job, most coaches respect that you worked hard and will try to help you in some capacity.
Great. I wanted to ask you, I know you graduated, I think, with a degree in sociology, but you also did a course with Sports Management Worldwide.
Yeah.
I did a PR course with them, but I wanted to ask, that was some, the tools that you learned from that course were really, said again, I'm sure they helped you, said along the way here.
No, they did. That was a good, they're a good company. They, I also went to, I believe, no, that wasn't theirs, but they, they do a good job with their courses, and they really help you in terms of like, if you just want extra knowledge. And that was that's what I was looking for at the time, just extra knowledge. And those guys are really helpful. And, they, like you said, they do a whole bunch. I do a whole bunch to, for people to succeed in sports. So it's another avenue for someone, maybe you don't have any contacts. Or maybe you don't know too many people. Like you said, if you get, you can link up with those guys, and you get some visibility, and you get, you join a group of people who all want to do the same thing. So I mean, I think them, and then I did the Pro Scout School in Vegas, which was good because when you're trying to get in the business, it's like it's not. It's nothing better for you than to at a high level. So we went to Pro Scout School in Vegas. They had speakers, all type of speakers, NBA general managers, NBA directors of scouting. And they came in and they said, hey, we've done this whole day. The second part of this day, we'll have a project. And the project is we're going to watch it. We're going to all go to the NBA Summer League, and we're going to watch these 2 players. And they just gave us 2 players, and they gave us a sheet, and they said, evaluate both of these guys. And we had to. And once we did, we turned it in, and they went through it, and they said, okay, like, I see what they went through and said, okay, like, this is good, or you should be looking for this, you should be looking for that. So to me, that was good, because now, like, when I scout players, I know what to look for. Because it's because if I can find it, if a player hits everything that I know that an NBA scout's looking for, then I mean, at the college level, that's golden. I mean, that kid's gonna be successful. Because I mean, NBA is they're paying guys millions of dollars. They're not gonna pay a guy millions of dollars if they're gonna lose their money. They're not gonna take a risk on a guy. So to me, I use the same kind of methodologies they kind of ingrained.
Mm-hmm.
And you do need to, like, the things they told us, like, you do need to watch that player once he gets subbed out of the game, because you never, you just can't scout somebody on the court. You have to, how are they when they come out the game? Are things going well and they come out and then they're happy, but things going bad, they come out and they're not giving high fives to their teammates. They're not watching the game. They're pouting. It's like, things like that, they matter and they translate, because we can't be you can't have a great team if you have guys that, are me guys, and they only want their success and they don't support their teammates. So
That's great. Hey, last couple. First, for you personally, not only playing, but also coaching the game of basketball. What makes it so special as far as the game? I know you talked about it in detail, but just if there's anything that comes to your mind, Coach.
Yeah, like I said before, honestly, man, I can't remember a time where I didn't play basketball. I mean, I don't know how old I was when I started. I had to ask my mom. But no, my dad, he was literally basketball fanatic, coach, all throughout my youth, and coach when I was in high school, always coached, man. And it was one of those things where he loved it, but he didn't go try to get, reach for that goal like I did, just because obviously he had a family, and then, he wanted stability. So I think that was a huge part for me first, like just having a dad who was so into basketball, and, everything was basketball, and we would play. And obviously that was our bond. Our bond was huge, because of that. And then also, I just, I just loved the game ever since I was a youth, literally would just only watch Sports Center all day, all night, watch basketball movies, different things like that.
Yeah.
And then, I, like you said, as we got older, it just came to a point where I was like, man, I want to, I want to do this coaching thing. I think those guys, and it would be great if I could do that one day, because to me that wouldn't be a job. It's it's something I love to do, so it's not a job. Yeah. So I just think I just think just me being, I think it's just me being born where I was, and just having the family I did, because where I'm from, Bowie, Mitchellville, Maryland, like everything's basketball is everything, to everybody, it's huge. It's like, it's almost a comparison to like when you go to Florida, they love football. It's like that. So it's like the community just, they just hover over the basketball, everything basketball. And, it's just, it's a way of life. And to me, it was just always a way of life.
Great. Hey, you talked about your dad. As you, rest of your family, your mom, just the support that you received, Coach Rush, with this basketball journey you've been on.
Oh yeah, I got great support from my family, especially my mom. She was huge into me. Honestly, going back and get the goal, because I mean, it was a rough time for me when my dad passed away. Mm-hmm. I didn't, I was kind of, I was angry and whatever, and I was down. So I just, the thing that kind of was our thing was basketball. So I kind of was like, I was like, turn my back, I turned my back on basketball some, just because I didn't, it was one of those things that was our bond, and, I just didn't know what to do. But, my mom saw that, and she talked to me and said, hey, you always wanted to do basketball. I know you have a job and all that, but, go, while you're young, go out and try to, still go out and try to reach your dream. So she really pushed me to do that in a time where I was kind of like, I don't know, what I mean? I don't know, maybe I'll get back to basketball, maybe I won't. So she really helped me this was about 4 years ago. She really helped me see that, I need to go out for my dreams, and basketball was something I always loved. And I need to go coach, because, I was making an impact, and I could make an impact and help a lot of people if I did that. So I think, I really appreciate her and love her and thank her for doing that, because now, I see, it was a benefit, I see the benefit, and I see, man, like, I couldn't imagine not doing this now. So I really would like to, thank her, because she really pushed me to, I just didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? So Yeah. So she's been huge in my journey, and she's always there for me to step away. I mean, she came out to Utah and spent a week, and she'll watch the game. She watch every game and like text me after the games, and so she's probably the biggest fan I have, and I really thank her.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
A final question, Coach Rush, is that I know you probably touched on it a little bit, but advice, for younger players,
Yep. Yep.
coaches that want to, people want to, get into the coaching ranks. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much out there, of course, with social media and other issues at hand. But what, I think you're in a perfect position to offer that.
Yeah. To players, I would say, just kind of run your own race. Don't let people, group you in with other people. Don't let people tell you can't do something. As long as the player is willing to put that work in on whatever they need to work on, and they identify that, and they're honest with themselves, they'll be fine. And that's a lot of people get caught up in like getting notoriety and social media presence and all that too early. And you don't have to get it early, because how often do we see guys in 6th and 7th grade that are ranked number 1 and 2, and then when they get to senior year, they nobody knows who they are. Yeah. So I just think like people need to just they let things come to them. Like have patience. And if you're a kid who may not be who's not that great now, just keep working, and seek out information. Seek out people that can help you. Seek out a coach who really who's willing to invest in you and like really help you. And you want people that will really help you, and not people that are just going to say, oh man, you're the greatest ever. You're really good. No, you want people to push you every day and continue to push you, because I mean, like if you're not working, I mean, somebody else is. And that's the thing. Like, you can never be, it's one of those things where you no matter how good you get, you gotta keep pushing. Yeah. So that would be my advice for kids and players that are coming up. Just, believe in yourself and work. I mean, don't let nobody take your dreams. Cause I mean, Markelle Fultz. I mean, Markelle will tell you, man, a lot of people probably wrote him off. Yeah. And then guess what he did? He worked. I mean, he's one of the most humble, hardworking dudes I was around. I've seen how much he worked, and and he didn't get his shine until 11th or 12th grade, but he turned out to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. So, it's no scientific method. You know what I mean? So you just you gotta run your own race and just put that work in. As long as you're putting the work in and you're really doing it, then you'll be fine. And then to coaches, I would say, just network. I would say, if you're a coach and you're coming up, you're young, or whatever, make sure wherever in your area, you gotta know the best players in your area. You gotta know who, what players do what. You gotta be able to, if somebody, you gotta be a source of information. Basically, you need to be a source of information, because I mean, that's the thing. I mean, when you're young, like you gotta bring something to the table, and everything, and the thing you can bring to the table is recruiting. And that's because everything else you can learn, but your relationships and everything else, I mean, as a young person, a lot of people will expect you to, have great relationships because you're closer in age to those kids. So you gotta know your area recruiting base, and you gotta have relationships with guys, you guys, high school guys, and then you just gotta, you gotta grind. Just go out here and grind, and hope you get lucky. And that's why I tell people sometimes it's timing. It's not like, oh, it's not a method, because I couldn't have told you I didn't know I was going to be here last year, but I knew in my role at Salt Lake I was going to do the best I could, and that's all I was worried about. I was worried about helping those those 13 or 14 kids we have on the team, and that's the thing. You just whatever you're doing, you just make sure you're doing your best. Don't get caught up in your next role. Don't get caught up in are people seeing me? Because I mean, from what I've taken, people see you when you're working. And, I always was a guy who, I wasn't worried about that, but, I have a guy who, I put work in, and people, people have told me like, hey man, you're a worker. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where, just do just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure you're going to work and just put your all into it. And, just reach out to coaches. Like anybody can reach out to me, and I'll return the call. I'll return the text. You can hit me on social media, anybody, and I'll DM you back. And maybe it's not right away, but I'll get back to you. And I'll tell you, I'm sorry, I was busy. I mean, it's a lot of coaches that are personable. You can hit them. It's a lot of coaches maybe you can't, but it doesn't hurt to try. Go work camps. Like you said, camps are a great opportunity for you to meet kids and coaches at that school, and also other coaches that work in the camp. So I mean, you just kind of find stuff to do that helps you get better at your craft, and clinics, coaches clinics. Maybe you go watch NBA Summer League because it's really high level basketball, and you go meet people. Maybe you go to the AAU tournaments and you meet AAU teams and the directors or coaches and talk to them. But you just kind of seek out information, and you'll be fine. Because I mean, most everything's business is relationships. So you got to build relationships with guys and hope somebody will make a call for you, or somebody maybe they know somebody that can help you.
Great. Well said, Coach. All right, Coach Rush, the floor is yours. If I've left anything out, you're more than welcome to add. I said I'd leave you with the last word here.
No, I just want to thank you for having me. Honestly, it was great. And I'm happy to be here. Honestly, and I wish everybody success this year. Obviously, obviously what we had in the past with the COVID.
Yeah.
And, I really, wishing all success to, everybody, all athletes, all, coaching staffs, everything moving forward. And I'm just happy to be here, and, I'm willing to put in work, and I'm willing to help these kids, and I'm excited for what the future holds. So, I mean, I really appreciate you. And I'm like I told anybody, like anybody can reach out to me. My social media, I don't even know what my social media is. It's like Coach R Rush or something. Okay. I think it's like that on Twitter. Anybody can reach out to me if you just search my name though, or LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, anything. If you want some help, like you said, I'm always a person that's willing to help anybody and everybody. So anybody's can reach out to me. You can email me on the school email, whatever, and and I'll help. So I just want that's pretty much it though. I really appreciate your time, and thanks.
No, thank you, Coach Rush, again, for the opportunity. Again, wishing you continued success. And of course, with this upcoming season with NJIT men's basketball, the 2021-22 season. Thank you.
Thank you.